All right, Computer Studies 10, we are going to be adding some HTML tags to our biography, I guess, our simple content that we've created for our website. What we've done up until this point is we have made a HTML file using Sublime Text, and it's got some text in it, and we'll take a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up that file in two different programs. We're going to have it open in our editor, Sublime Text, and we're going to open it in our web browser. I'm going to use Chrome. You can use whatever you like. And that's basically how you're going to make changes in the editor and see your changes in the browser. Okay, so you just got to open them in both. You can do it any way you want to do it, but the way I do it is I'll go, my open with menu, and I'll open it with Sublime Text. So I'll open it over here, and there's no HTML in here whatsoever. I'll just slide it over, and then I think it's the default is just to open it in Chrome, so I'll just double click on it. And here's my web page. Oh, it's so ugly. I'm gonna split screen them. Oh, I'm already split screening them apparently. Something like this. Okay. Wah. And then wah. So now I have the two open side by side. And what I can do is edit on the right side over here, save my changes, and then come over to the browser, refresh, and see what changes have been made. Okay, that's going to be sort of the cycle. If you've made a change and you don't see it reflected in the browser, it's probably because you haven't saved or refreshed in your browser. Okay, it doesn't automatically update as you go. All right, so we're gonna get started with HTML tags. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So hypertext markup language is a fancy way of saying, hypertext is clickable links, so words that your pictures you turn into links you click on with your mouse that take you to different pages. Markup are symbols that you use inside or beside your content that change the formatting. So we're going to add a bunch of what are called tags to make things into titles or paragraphs or lists or links. And then language is, well, I guess it's kind of a language in that we have rules for grammar and punctuation and other things that we have to follow very strictly because computers are kind of dumb and they can't really deal with you breaking the rules. Well, you'll see they can kind of, but in unpredictable ways. So it's best to stick with the rules whenever we can. Okay, so let's go ahead and learn some HTML tags. All tags kind of look the same. You have the angle brackets we use. The angle brackets, they're like shift comma and shift period on your page. And then you put in the name of a tag, and then you close the tag this way. And you can surround text in the tags, usually, not always. And whatever this tag does is going to affect the text when we refresh the browser. So we're going to learn a bunch of different names of tags. The tag doesn't exist, but we'll learn a bunch of them. So first off, we're going to look at the H1 tag. Here's H1. So I type in H1 in angle brackets. If I was just to save that and refresh, I'll do that. I'm using Command S, or you can use Control S to save. Over here, I'll refresh. You can just press F5, or you can press the refresh button. Whoa, everything got bold. Whoa, look at this. Everything's so huge. H1 was supposed to make something a header, like a title. But my problem is everything became a title, and that's because you need a close tag. So I want the title to stop. So here's H1. This is where I start. Here's my name, and then slash H1. And when you type the slash, Sublime sort of knows what one you're trying to close, and it finishes it for you. So if I refresh this, now we can see just the text inside of the H1 tags are headers now. So there's the header, and you can see how hypertext markup language works, at least the markup part. These symbols mark up our text so that our browser knows to render them differently. Let's go learn the paragraph tag now. It's just P. Makes sense, right? P for paragraph. And of course, don't forget to slash P. And this is an awkward zoom, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so that works. And if I save my editor and refresh my browser, you'll see that got turned into a paragraph. It's separate from the rest of the text. Over here, I'm going to use another kind of header. There's H1, so you might wonder, well, is there an H2? There is. There's an H3, 4, 5, and 6 as well. Their default differences is that they are different sizes, but I want to just, I'm just going to use H3. You can use whichever one you want. I'm going to put that on to 3 things I don't like. And I'm going to put that on, here's a link I like. Okay. If I save that, oh, and every once in a while we'll get a thanks for trying out Sublime Text. It's unregistered. You can just cancel. If you have money to spare and you'd like to support this company, you can purchase it, but by no means are you required, and it will always be free for you to use. Okay, so let's refresh. Look at that now. See, I'm getting these titles here are now H3s. They're smaller than my H1. The H1 is biggest. H3s are smaller. There we go. Our list sure sucks, though. Look at that. Our list is like all on one line. There's no separation. Even though I press enter, if I press a bunch of enters, nothing really happens over in my browser. Like, it doesn't notice the formatting I'm doing in here. It only notices tags and text. So we have to put in more tags. If I want to make this into a bunch of, into a list, I can put in the list item tag. It's LI, like list item. And then I'll put in the /LIs. And I'll do that for my Zergling Rush, the things that I hate. And for my Uncanny X-Men, my least favorite video game. And for sleep deprivation, that is just no fun. I'll save that. It looks a little awkward because it does the word wrap, but it's all really the same. If I zoom out, you'll see that it all works. I don't want to zoom out too far. And I guess you can't see because my face is in the way, so maybe I'll just press enter a little bit so you can move this up. Okay, so if I save and refresh this, it's fine. We get bullet points, which are fine. But it turns out you can actually add tags that affect your tags. So list item tags sort of, separate them onto separate lines, and they put some sort of a denotion, like a bullet point or something there, to make it clear that these are list items. But I can also put in tags that will affect the list item tags. I'm going to use 2 different sets of tags. There's going to be ordered list and unordered list. So see if you can spot the difference. So I'm going to wrap this whole block in ordered list tags. And oops. And I'm going to wrap this whole block in unordered list. You can see unordered is with a U because that's how you spell unordered. OL is the ordered list because that's how you spell that. So I'm going to refresh. I saved it and I'm going to refresh. And you see what happened? Here's my OL, my ordered list. Now it's got 1, 2, 3 in front of it. They're ordered, right? There's an ordering. And my unordered list still has bullet points, but now they're indented. And if I hadn't had this before, then there's space sort of above and below these things. They're separated out a little bit better. So these are 2 different kinds of lists. They both use the list item tag, but the OL tags style the bullet points into numbers, and the UL tags keeps them as bullets. All right. We also got to put in ourselves a link. I want to make this a clickable link. Actually, I don't want it to. I want that to be the place I want it to visit, but I would like it to say, Lego website, and I would like the word Lego website to be here, and I can click on the Lego website letters, these as text, and it takes me to this website. So here's the story. I'm just going to cut that for a second. The link tag is next, but it's not LINK. It's A. A is actually stands for anchor. And anchor is just the old-fashioned word for what people, once upon a time, for a brief period of time, decided that's what links would be called. They're anchors. Like you're on a boat in the ocean or something. But it doesn't really matter. That legacy lives on in HTML. We don't call them anchors anymore. Although I do, recommend you throw out that vocabulary once in a while just to mess with your friends. Yeah, this is it. So if I save this, you might be like, oh, cool, I'll have a link. It doesn't quite work because, you can see there's still text. Why? Well, the A tag needs more information. It doesn't know where you are sending this person. You're telling the web browser, yeah, I want this to be a link, but you haven't said where to. So we're gonna have to give it a little bit more information, and this is gonna um, add in a new thing we haven't learned about tags yet, and that is that you can add attributes to tags, which is basically like extra information, more information. Sometimes like an H3 doesn't need much more information, but an A tag definitely does. So if you press space in here, this is where you put attributes. It's inside the header tag, only the header tag. And actually, when I do that, you can see that it comes up with all these attributes that you could put in. So it's nice that it gives you a little like summary of these. So I'm going to type in href, and you'll see that it actually predicts it as you type it. You can just click on that as soon as it comes up. And this is what an attribute looks like. You give it the name, there's an equal sign, and then there's the double quotations where you're going to insert the value of it. So href means hypertext reference. So then what we're going to do is put in the web address here. And this is going to be a little bit tight because, I'm working with limited space. So I'll paste it in there. Kind of makes this look a little bit meh. I can shrink it up a little bit. Hopefully you can still see okay. Maybe I can actually just zoom to compensate. And there we go. My open tag, or the A tag, now has this big attribute inside of it that tells the web browser where you should direct the traffic when you click on this text. Okay, so there it is. I'll save it, and we'll come back here. We'll refresh it, and sure enough, yeah, we have a link now. And if I click that, I'd go to the Lego website. All right, so there you go, folks. Oh, actually, one last thing. Image tag. We wanted to learn how to put in images as well, and I downloaded an image. You do have to put the image into the same folder where your HTML file is saved. So I'm just going to confirm I have done that. Yeah, there it is, benny.png. If you don't see the .png on your computer, I'll try and show in class on Windows how you can reveal the extension because it's really handy to have. So also name your files. Like when you download a picture, name it like a easy to type name. Like sometimes a picture comes out with 30 numbers and letters just strewn together and then a .jpeg or something. So that's not fun. So let's go back now. Where are we? Here we are. So that was the name of my picture. So now I can use the image tag. Image is a little bit different because image does not need a close tag. You're not like putting surrounding text to turn into an image. So it's just the open tag. And if I was to just refresh that, you might guess, yeah, nothing happens because I need to specify what image. What is the source image that I am using? And I just type in another attribute, source. So you're going to have to learn some names of tags and names of attributes, and there'll be some learning curve to that for sure. Luckily, it helps you as you type, so you can just click on that. I always just I depend on the auto complete as much as possible, especially when I'm learning a new language, because then I avoid little mistakes. Typing SCR. So many people have typed SCR. Or for href, often I'll see HERF, HERF. So just to avoid those spelling mistakes, you can click on that. And then I'll paste in, oh no, I don't have it copied. It was just benny.png. If I save that, then sure enough, Benny shows up. Oh, Benny. Benny is very large. So I'm just going to adjust Benny's size. I'm going to say width is another attribute. And actually, we can just depend on it to type it in. It's a little bit on the big side at the moment. And you can type in a number here, like say 400. PX stands for pixels. That's like your unit of measurement. I can refresh, and now you can see the picture a little bit smaller. You can adjust it to whatever size you want it to be. Okay, folks, that is going to be sort of our introduction to HTML. Hopefully by the end of this, you understand that these are tags, and you usually have open and close tags that surround text that apply a particular kind of formatting. There's different tags to apply different kinds of formatting. Sometimes tags can format other tags when they are wrapped in around other tags. And we also sometimes need attributes to be a little bit more specific about how the tags work. And sometimes you don't even have a close tag, but mostly you do. Okay, folks, I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we'll take a look at some more tags that will make this document sort of ready to plug into some other technologies, specifically CSS, but also potentially JavaScript, so that we can do more fancy things with our website. Okay, thanks everybody.